Today we're going to talk about how to cut a circle. The tools we're going to use for this today include a sheet of glass, a circle cutter, a score stick, a breaker or a runner, and a rubber mat. If you don't have a rubber mat, a home towel folded in half will work just as well. And later, in order to do small circles, we're also going to demonstrate the lens cutter. To begin with, we're going to set our circle. There are a couple of ways to find the center of your circle. The easiest and most likely is to just take a marker and run it from corner to corner in each of the four directions. When you look at a standard cutter, there are notches in the cutter on all four sides. You can then line those right up to your marks, suction down, and you're in place in the center. For this demonstration, we're just going to go by eyeballing it. And I'm just going to walk it around to see that I am relatively centered on my glass. Being centered is crucial in getting a good even circle because you want the amount of pressure being built on the sides and corners of your circle to be consistent. Everyone has their own way of cutting circles. This is just mine, so I'm demonstrating the way that I cut circles and the way that I teach students to. Once we have this in place, I'm being right-handed, so as a right-handed person, I'm going to take my left hand and I'm going to pinch my fingers together and rest them right on the top of the center. This is going to ensure that I'm keeping this in place in case it comes loose, but I don't have my fingers down here blocking the cutter as it's trying to move. We don't want our fingers to get in the way. So I'm setting them right up here on top. I then take my right hand, which is my cutting hand, and I rest it gently on my left so that when my hand is hanging down, I'm just holding on to the circle cutter. Then I'm going to use some slight pressure and come all the way around in a full circle, not stopping until I get all the way underneath. And right when my hand is underneath of my left, I've come full circle, right back where I started. Now I can take this off and remove my circle cutter. As you can see, we have a circle. Next, I'm going to take my rubber mat and my circle. I'm taking my piece of glass and I'm turning it upside down. Going from one of the corners towards the center, I'm going to stop right on my line, and with some gentle pressure, I'm going to push down gently, applying additional pressure until I hear a popping sound. Did you hear that? That's the sound of the brake beginning to run, and you may be able to see it's run from right here around to here. Now I'm going to go to where the brake has stopped running. I'm going to go back about ½ an inch, and I'm just going to do a gentle pressure, and I generally tell people to just do a small bouncing motion. So you're going to just bounce down and lift right back up. I'm going to check the glass again. We've now come to here, back up ½ an inch, bounce down, press back up. I'm going to continue this motion all the way around the glass until I complete my circle. You'll know that the circle is done because you'll hear another pop sound. You should not hear that sound until your circle has gone all the way around. If you hear it prematurely, it means that the score has run off the edge of the glass, which is not what we want. There was the sound. I've now gone all the way through. What I actually have now are two separate pieces of glass. I have a circle and I have the outer square with a circle removed. They're still in place within each other, but they're actually two separate pieces of glass. Now, in order to break this out, I'm going to take my score stick, and I'm just going to make a quick mark. Note that I'm not going into the cut, I'm not going at an angle, and I'm not crossing this line. I'm just going straight through here, because since we've pressed our glass all the way around, and this is a separate piece of glass, that's as far as it can go. It'll stop right here. I can then go to the other end, make another line. I could make 4 of them if I want to, or I can just lift up and remove my piece of glass. Circle cutting, just that simple. If you're working with a piece of colored glass, opaque, where you cannot see through the glass, just with one finger, hold your finger on the score, hold it up so that you can line up your fingers on the other side so that when you flip the glass over, you're already on your circle. You're on the score line and you know where to begin pressing out your circle. Some people have asked about cutting very small circles. And very small circles are a little bit more difficult, but not so much so that you can't achieve it. I'm just going to use a small piece of scrap glass here. And in this case, I'm setting it in my lens cutter. I have my lens cutter cut for the smallest size that it will go, to give an example. And I'm going to score my circle. So you can see there, we have our circle scored. I'm just going to cut off the excess glass around here because that's just going to slow down my process and break that away, so that I'm left with a small square of glass with my circle contained. This is when going into the groove and coming out works. I'm going to do as many of these as I want going around. I find that the more marks you make coming out of your circle, the less stress is remaining because you have so many outlets for the stress to run out of the glass and out of your center circle. We won't use all of those, but it's good to have them there. Next, I'm just going to select one of my marks and begin breaking. You can see it took a whole section off there. Find the next good spot. See how fast we've run down this to just a small little piece. Continue to break away some small areas of glass till you're just left with a little bit. I can take that and snap away one side. Come over and snap away another. This gets a little tedious when we're working this small, but that's okay. And what I'm left with at the very end is a very small circle. I don't know if you can see that there. It's a very small circle with just a small amount of grinding or nipping to do.